All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Financial Advisory Podcast. I've got another great guest today. We're here in Las Vegas on location. As you guys can see, I don't have the big orange chimney behind me, part of my normal set. So we're here in Las Vegas, and I'm super excited and proud to have Jake on the podcast today. And I want to talk about how we met first, and then kind of go into what you do and your role with Telson Tequila. But as you guys know, Telson Tequila sponsors the podcast, or they were the first sponsor of the podcast. It's all thanks to this man, Jake. So thank you, Jake. Want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me, Anthony. I appreciate it. You're my guy. I'm Jake Bofshever. Me and Anthony, when we meet, how long ago?
Maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago at one of John's events here.
Yeah, 6, 7 months ago. Yeah. We hit it off right away.
Yeah. I had to tell him, I said, man, I know you don't know me, and I don't like to name drop, but like, I love your tequila, and my very dear friend, Kerry King, and I love your tequila. We've got to meet. We've got to discuss this. So I hooked those guys up. They're working on some stuff behind the scenes right now. But, Kerry and I would come to Vegas, and we would, it was always kind of very routine. He likes his places. He likes his very specific places to go eat. He likes the places to go drink. He likes his tequila. Him and I are big into tequila, and because of him. And then one time, he's like, hey, dude, we got to go to this place I found. They went to the soft opening, I believe. We got to go here. It's called Nacho Daddy. They've got the best tequila in the fucking world, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, man. I mean, you're pretty spot on with the tequila choices. Like, let's go. And then I get there, and I'm like, it was like the house brand. It was like this on tap. And I'm like, fuck, this is delicious. I'm like, all right, well, fuck, how much is it going to cost, right? Because you get a good tequila bottle, it's usually expensive. And then it's like, oh, fuck, that's all right. For the añejo, it's very reasonable. And then for the longest time, over a year, probably for a couple of years, I would fly home from Las Vegas with a bunch of those bottles in my suitcase because you couldn't get them anywhere. But it was my favorite tequila. So that was years before I met you. So when I met you, and I'm like, bro, I've got to tell you this story. Like, it's just ironic that of all the tequila sponsors that could have been there, or people that could have been there, it was this brand, it was you. So it was really cool doing that. So let's pour a shot to that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, my mic's off. So let's cheers. So fucking
Back to
good.
life.
So fucking good, man. And what's cool is on my podcast episodes, I make everyone take a shot. And some people like tequila, some people don't. Most people have most younger people like, oh, tequila, I can't do that. Or the older people, I had a bad experience with tequila. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Try this. And they're always like, that's good. Or holy shit, that was good. So we're gonna do a compilation of that, I think, and push that for you. So like, hey, dude, like all these people say, wow, that's good. All organic. I don't give them a taste ahead of time. I don't give them any like background besides you're gonna like this. And they're like, oh, okay. And then holy fuck, it's good. So
Yeah, nah.
So talk about your involvement in the brand, the company. Obviously you're at the event with John. Talk about where, the brand itself, or you want to talk about your involvement in it first, or however you want to discuss it, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can give a little rundown about how Telson came about.
Mm-hmm.
So, the owners, Keith Glenn, which is my uncle, Fred Mosler, and Paul Hymas.
Okay.
My uncle and Fred were one of the original people of Zappos,
Okay.
which is a startup company that Amazon acquired in the mid-2000s. So they were the first real startup company from like Silicon Valley to bring a tech company to Las Vegas. So they really were like, one of a kind, especially in the downtown area.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of downtown renovation projects, or really were involved in the Las Vegas community. And then, so then from there, they built up Zappos all the way to $1 billion company. And then Amazon purchased it. And then from there, they had a chance to retire.
Of course. You got $1 billion in the bank. It's fuck, what are we going to do, right?
Obviously, them being entrepreneurial, they got involved in the restaurant business.
Okay.
And Paul Hymas, and they started Nacho Daddy.
Okay, so they had some money and some ideas and sounded like, well, we don't want to retire. What are we going to do? That's how Nacho Daddy came about.
Yeah,
huh?
they came
Was
about.
it their idea, the whole, like, the theme behind it? Was it their idea?
Yeah, it's crazy. Is like, from what I hear, is like it all was just them hanging out at a bar, just
Yeah.
kind of bullshitting with
I
each
want
other.
a steak on a bed of nachos.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what Nacho Daddy is, it's a brand here. I think it's in only Las Vegas, or is it?
Las Vegas, Salt Lake City,
Okay, so they're expanding.
Atlanta,
Awesome.
Nashville,
Fuck yeah.
Miami.
Okay, cool. So I knew them in Las Vegas, and it's like, whatever you would get at a nice steak restaurant is on a bed of nachos. It's like you get a filet, you can get steak and lobster, you can get surf and turf, you can get, it's super cool. And it's like on nachos in a nacho themed, like a more relaxing setting, you know, it's super cool. I love it. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess long story short from there is obviously they created Nacho Daddy. It ended up becoming very successful, ended up opening more and more locations. And then for the last, I think, 6 years, they were the #1 independent tequila sales
Nice.
throughout Las Vegas.
Okay.
So they're like, you know, selling everyone else's tequila.
Okay.
Why don't we make our own tequila?
Cool.
So that took a few years, and they had went down to Mexico, and the stars kind of aligned, and they had an opportunity to purchase a distillery down there. So we actually own our own distillery down in Guadalajara.
Talk about that, because you've mentioned how important or how unique it is to actually own your own distillery while you're making tequila. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I think there's like 3,500 tequila brands.
Okay.
We're one of 40 where the brand actually owns their own distillery.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and there's only 140 distilleries in Mexico, and they're not making any more. It's almost like
So you guys have one of 140
Yes.
in the country.
Yep.
That's very exclusive. That's cool. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's unique, especially with tequila becoming such a popular demand now. Is people have to outsource and contract from other distilleries, all these other tequila brands, and you can't really get the best quality of tequila per se when you're depending kind of on other distilleries.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to people sometimes with brands, and they talk about how, you know, their profile and their tequila changes because they don't own, they don't have
They
their own
can't
distillery.
control it. There's just, here, man, make this shit, and then that guy's gonna make it to your standards. But if he's not really like, you don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
exactly.
I
And that's
gotcha.
one of the unique things about us is we're going to get a consistent flavor profile.
Yeah.
And we'll do things the right way. You know, no shortcuts.
Right.
Organically grow our plants and everything.
It's
and
cool, man. Yeah, it was very wild that, like I said, we just found this random. All of this is, to me, and maybe to the people it doesn't matter, but it's so the way all this came together. Me becoming friends with Carrie, me being a tequila snob with Carrie, and discovering Telson, and then all of a sudden meeting you. It's like, holy fuck! Like, this is randomly my favorite brand. Nobody knows about it outside of the Las Vegas. I shouldn't say it like that. It's not as well known like nationally.
Sure.
So when I have this brand at home, people are like, what the fuck? This is awesome, right? So I think it's like my little brand I found in my back pocket, like my little, my pet brand. And then it's like expanding, and I meet you. It's just like, holy fuck, this is cool. You know, it could have been anybody in the world, but it was Telson Tequila. So it's super cool, man.
Yeah, and the cool thing too about the whole story with Carrie about how we met is for the longest time since I came here, even when I would go Nacho Daddy or liquor stores, everyone I would run into would be like, hey, Carrie King's a huge fan of your guys' tequila.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do I get in touch with them? No one really knew how.
Yeah.
So I used to give out my card to the manager of Nacho Daddy. He was like, hey, when he comes in here next time, give him my card and we could reach out.
Sure.
And then,
You met me?
stars aligned. Me and John obviously connected a while ago.
Yeah.
And had a really great relationship with him. He's the man, obviously.
Dude, he's awesome.
Yeah. And then we went to an event, and as soon as I sat down, I put the tequila bottle on the table. And then,
I was like, what the fuck? This is here?
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta talk, bro. And like I said, I don't name drop Carrie often, hardly ever. If it comes up a conversation or a metalhead or whatever, I'll bring it up. But I don't like name dropping. I'm just not that guy, right? I gotta name drop here. I gotta make sure you understand how big of a deal this could be. So like that was cool. Yeah. It was cool. You already knew he was like, or heard the rumors like, hey, this guy's a fan. This guy likes your tequila, and you heard it. It's cool. You already heard that buzz. I'm like, well, I got his number right here, dude. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
So I put you in touch with his manager, and you guys are working on some stuff. So if you guys see Carrie drinking Telson tequila on his tour bus one day, maybe we had something to do with that. Maybe.
A little more than maybe.
Maybe, right. Allegedly, right. So yeah, that's cool. I'm pumped for all that because he legitimately loves it. And knowing it's a up and coming brand, if he can help support that, and it fucking becomes the next Jägermeister, right? Like that's because we did that. That's fucking cool. If it doesn't, it should,
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, and we appreciate that a lot too. People, and it's nice obviously when you meet notable people who have influence, but it's even better when you meet people that are good people and you want to deal with. So it's Carrie,
cool.
you, and John are so down to earth, just great dudes who even if we weren't doing building each other up, we'd probably still be friends somehow.
I agree. And I think that's, John and I think that we jive because we're very similar with our exterior, brash exterior, the funny, the joke, and the whatever you want to call it. And people don't always know how to take people like us. But then when you do get in our circle, it's golden, right? It's like it's genuine, it works. And, not to, ride John's dick so much here, but like his events, I think, are good because he filters out all those pussies. There's no pussy in that room that is going to be offended by anything I say, right? Like my story I talked about last night, everyone's like, that's fucking cool. And I'm like, that's just me. And he kind of put me on the spot. He told me he's going to have me speak, and I was like, okay. Didn't really know what. I'm like, whatever. I'll figure it out. So I got up there and to speak for that, minute or two. I was like, what am I going to say? And so I winged it, right? But like that room was so receptive to that because John is he's very out there, unapologetic. So you love him or hate him, and it worked out great, And then you meet people like you. It's like we're all in the same cut from the same cloth, or a version of that too. So I think what he's doing is special, and that crowd is going to keep growing, I think, too.
Yeah, 100%. It's really cool to see how much since the last time we met a year ago, how much he's blown up.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And and rightfully so, though, because like you said, there's weeding out enough pussies.
That's right.
Enough pussies to get in some platforms.
We need more Johns. What's up, guys? I know you're enjoying the podcast, but I want to pause this. I want to bring some attention to my sponsors, Telson Tequila. I want to go over a few cool little facts with these guys. So they are from Las Vegas, and there's thousands of tequilas in the world. Telson is one out of only 40 tequila brands that owns their own distillery. So it's super unique. It's a big flex, right? It's really fucking cool. So based out of Las Vegas, super rad. Check them out. Use our discount code FINAD20, TelsonTequila.com. In the world, right?
Exactly,
We need
100%.
more fucking Johns in the world.
At least with the attention on it.
Right.
All these pussies are getting all the attention.
Right,
on it.
I know.
Switch that up.
So let's talk more about you now, okay? The tequila's great. John's great. All that's cool. But like about you. So you weren't always involved with tequila. You've done some. You were an athlete, or are an athlete. I guess we were always an athlete when we were an athlete, right? But talk about how'd you get to this point, right? Before all the tequila, the branding, the success here, where'd you come from? Who is Jake?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in South Florida. I grew up in South Florida, played sports my whole life.
Yeah.
So I was always just like a really athletic, really competitive kid.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really know anything else besides thinking I was going to probably be a professional athlete.
Okay.
I'm sure like everyone else when they're in that age.
When you think there's a certain age group, we all think we're going to be pros, right?
Yeah. And, I feel like that's how you have to think, because if you think any other way, you kind of got no shot.
Exactly.
The odds are already so stacked against you.
Yeah.
So I played high school football, baseball, my whole life. Got a chance to play high school. I was a quarterback actually in high school.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So ended up having some success down at Coral Springs High School.
Okay.
Which is a little suburb outside of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
From there, I had an opportunity to play Division I football, FCS level.
Hell yeah.
And had some success there. Even though I wasn't at quarterback, after my first 2 years, I switched to wide receiver.
Okay. Cool.
So I became a wide receiver. Had a pretty solid last 2 seasons. And
Didn't Julian Edelman do that?
yeah,
Yeah, he
went the same kind of route.
I'm like, somebody else did that and did all right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did that. Had a pretty successful college career down at LIU, Long Island University.
Okay.
And then
Is that New York?
New York.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And then from there, I had an opportunity to sign with the British Columbia Lions, which is a CFL football team.
Okay.
So I did that in 2021, and then lived out in Vancouver for about a season.
Canadians. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Canadians are fun, aren't they?
Oh no, it was a blast.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I tell everyone I'm so glad I did it, because I never would have experienced Canada if I didn't. And it's a really beautiful country, especially Vancouver, where I was.
Yeah. Yeah. Canadians are very. I think most people think Canadians are just like Americans, and they are, but they're like harder and tougher, but then also nicer, right? It's they're kind of weird. Like they're not. It's hard to like pencil them into a certain category, but they're definitely different, and they're fun. I think they're fun. Overall, they're just fucking fun, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Canadians are cool.
Yeah. So finished up in 2021 was my last season there, and then I got released with like 1 week left.
This is semi-pro or pro, or what is this?
It's professional.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we get paid. So yeah, I went back home to Florida.
So talk about that. You're getting paid. The goal is NFL always, right?
Yeah.
So you're using this as like a feeder league. Like, hey, man, hopefully I get discovered. Hope I do well enough, right? But the pay there, what's the pay like there? What's the structure like?
It's $70K is the rookie contract.
Yeah.
So it's not NFL money.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, dude. To play fucking ball. That's cool, right?
Yeah. No, it's definitely not bad. It's not retiring, but it's
No,
definitely
of course.
we lived a good life.
It lets you at least last long enough to see if you're going to make it or not, right? I mean, it's not get you rich, but you can survive while you're training to hopefully get to the next level, right?
Sure. Yeah. And that was the ultimate goal, obviously, when I signed the CFO, because I came out during the COVID year.
Okay.
So it was a lot of challenges uphill about kids trying to play professional at a
Oh,
college
that's right.
from smaller
Yeah.
schools. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, once I got released from Canada, I went back home to Florida, and I was training for the XFL draft.
Okay. Yep.
And during that whole time period, I was, it was tough.
Sure.
It was a struggle. I was delivering food. I was working in restaurants, doing whatever I could to keep the dream alive. Just
Yep.
because you'd work out and train football from 9 a.m. till about 1 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you really couldn't work a normal job.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm not saying not normal, but you get what I'm
Yeah, I
saying. A
understand. Yeah, of
full-time
course.
job.
Yeah.
So you do what you kind of do in the afternoon to pay for training and do
Yep.
everything you do to
Yeah. You got to make money while you're living
the
your dream.
ultimate goal. Yeah. So I did that. I was put into the XFL draft, and it's one of those things. Unfortunately, I didn't get drafted.
Okay.
But looking back at it, it's a blessing.
Of course.
Maybe
man.
I didn't realize in the moment. 'Cause
Yeah.
all I knew was football, and it was kind of coming to realization that it's kind of not gonna.
The rest of the world exists outside of football. Let's do this now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And from there, it was hard mentally.
I would say because there's a moment, right? There's not and maybe it's not a singular moment, but there's a moment like, all right, football's not my future, right? That's hard to swallow, like you said, but like you can't sit back and cry because nobody fucking cares, right? So what's next? And how did you cope with that? And was there a singular moment, or was there all right, fuck it, let's move on, or what was that like?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. The first, coming to realization of it, probably the first couple weeks, months, I was like, wow, almost like
So it wasn't a singular moment. It was time then,
yeah,
right?
it was
Okay.
time definitely because I was
Okay.
still like, what do I do kind of thing.
Because at what age were you at that point?
25.
So you've got basically half of your life, I'm guessing, teenager-ish, beyond was football. Like, I'm going to be a football. So half of your life at this point is football.
All I knew.
All you know, it's like, well, fuck, this isn't going to be football now. And I got 70 years left to go. So now what, right? It's tough, right? So no one prepared you for that, did they? No one told you that was going to happen?
No,
They don't.
no one at all. But I did always have playing football and playing for, shout out Coach Jonathan Gill down at LIU.
Okay.
He had a big, I'd say influence on my life because he had that mentality where he trained us from day one that no one owes you any favors.
That's cool.
You're responsible for your own life.
Yeah.
In football or in the, in the real business world.
I don't think coaches get enough credit for shaping men. I think a lot of coaches, people think coaches is just football, it's just baseball, it's just wrestling, it's just this. But man, young men they're a sponge for mentorship, right? And I think a lot of coaches either fuck kids up or they really set the tone for the rest of their lives.
Sure.
Sounds like this guy was positive, right?
Yeah, no,
That's cool.
absolutely, definitely positive. And when it was all going on, he was a fucking pain in the ass.
Of course,
So
you hate him.
You hated him at first, but it was like a hate
But you
love.
respect him.
I respect him.
Yeah,
And I knew
yeah.
he wanted the best for me and everyone else, wasn't just me. So,
Yeah.
and then as you get older and life experiences happen, you start to realize and start to thank people. Like,
Yep.
wow, well, thank God I went through this trial and tribulation through there.
Dude, I say the younger you understand that shit, the better off, because like we all figured out sometime that, hey, this struggle was good for me. No one ever thinks the struggle while it's happening is good, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the younger you are when you understand that, the better off the rest of your life is. So
Yeah.
you're in your 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
You figured that shit out earlier than I did. That's great. That's phenomenal, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. Then once I started came to the realization of everything, like I said, I realized no one's gonna come save me. I have great
No one's coming.
parents,
Yeah.
family, but it's like I got to make something for myself because everyone has their own battles they're focused on too. My parents and
Yes.
siblings and friends, like they're all fighting for what they want to, and
I don't want to interrupt this, but it's a big point, and I believe in this so much that like is the tough love of the reality of nobody cares, and your closest friend, your closest family can say that they care, and they do care to a degree. I'm not taking that away, but like end of the day, dude, you are on your fucking own in this whole world. Nobody gets that, not very many people understand that. But as sooner you understand that, it's not a bad thing. Like, okay, cool, I'm on my own. Now that I know that, fuck it, dude, let's go. Like, once you figure that out and you get that zero, get to that 0 point of like, all right, no one's coming. Yeah, my dad cares. Yeah, my mom cares. My brothers care. My wife cares. They all care. But dude, you are on your fucking own ultimately. And when you get to that point in your head, it's like, cool, the rest of the world makes sense now. I can go forward knowing that, because when you think people care or you think people are going to save you, you have this, I'll figure, crutch or fallback or back. When you don't have that anymore, I think that's when your life begins. It's like, all right, cool. I figured that shit out. They still love me. They still care about me. But really, dude, I'm on my own. When you get to that point, it's like, all right. I think it's like peaceful, I think. For me, it was. I, for the longest time, struggled with that. Like, yeah, someone cares, or my mom cares, my dad, my wife. When you get to the point of like, all right, well, that's really just fucking me, that's cool. now let's go forward, right? So like, it sounds like you had that moment, and it's like, all right, well, let's go now, right?
Yeah. So from there, I've always had a really great relationship with my uncle. So during this, like, he'd always come to my college football games, high
Nice.
school. He's always come up with me, and he obviously was, super successful and super humble, and he's just, just one of the best men I know, definitely.
That's cool.
And I reached out to him, and I just said, like, obviously I was not lost, but like I just, I was willing to do anything. I didn't have much at the time, and I was hungry, and I was willing to make whatever sacrifice I needed to.
Yeah.
So within pretty short notice of us talking, he told me to pack my stuff up and move to Las Vegas.
Holy shit.
Yeah, while he was
From South Florida?
From South Florida, while he was starting the tequila company.
Okay.
So
at least it wasn't like Buffalo or some like shithole.
Yeah,
like,
it could be worse places.
Colt,
Right?
Green Bay, brother, pack a bag, go buy a winter coat, meet me at the airport. At least it was nice, not a warm weather city. That's cool. Could have been worse.
So, didn't have much. Packed up all my clothes and my Hyundai Elantra.
Nice.
And, drove all the way out here to Las Vegas.
That's a fucking drive, bro.
Yeah.
That's a fucking drive. From South Florida to Vegas is what, 20 hours, 25 hours?
Yeah.
So it feels like forever.
Yep. So just packed my whole car up, and
Is that your first time leaving Florida for I guess you traveled like on your own shit in your car and just
it was my first time in my life where I left Florida not knowing when I was going to come back. Because I went to college in New York and I played in the CFL, but I knew
you plan on coming back. It's okay. Okay.
I didn't really know when I was.
This time was like, this might not come back for a while. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So came out here to Las Vegas, and it was started learning the tequila business right away. Just being a sponge, being around people, some great mentors.
Were you drinking tequila before that, or was your go-to drink?
I was drinking tequila, but I wasn't so much educated on it. So I was I was a college kid. I would drink whatever's in front of me. Vodka,
that's a good
Jack,
point.
tequila.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. Whatever the chick's drinking, I want to drink. Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
bang her, so let me drink whatever she's drinking.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So I moved out here to Las Vegas, was a sponge right away, and trying to learn everything I could possibly about the tequila business.
Okay.
Going to Mexico, just being educated as best as I could. And was kind of thrown into the fire, I feel like, a little bit, which was the best way for me.
You have to. There's no learning curve. It's fucking sink or swim, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
You in or you out. You know?
No, and I realize, like, in life, you don't get a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
And I think the number one.
What's up, guys? I know you're enjoying the podcast, but I want to pause this. I want to bring some attention to my sponsors, Telson Tequila. I want to go over a few cool little facts with these guys. So they are from Las Vegas, and there's thousands of tequilas in the world. Telson is one out of only 40 tequila brands that owns their own distillery. So it's super unique. It's a big flex, right? It's really fucking cool. So based out of Las Vegas, super rad. Check them out. Use our discount code FINAD20, TelsonTequila.com.
One, people have regrets about is, you look back and you realize, like, wow, I actually had an opportunity there. You don't realize it in the moment.
I fucking squandered that. Holy shit. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, I realized, like, wow, this is probably my moment here.
In the moment you realize it's huge. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever get something like this again, because it's a dream to be part of a startup tequila brand, and have
a delicious tequila brand, by the way.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Have an opportunity to be with the tequila brand from the start of it. So and with around great mentors, and stuff like that. I mean, Keith, my uncle Fred, Paul.
So they recognized they weren't. I mean, maybe they're doing you a family favor to a small degree, but in their eyes, we got this young, hungry kid. Marketing is about youth, I think. The right marketing comes from younger people. Like, we got this young kid, dude. Let's fucking go. And I think there's a lot of value they probably saw in you before you saw it. Like, dude, this kid might really make a big difference, right? So I'm sure there was a two-way play there, but they were probably betting on you before you were, and that's what I'm getting at, and then they're like, all right, this might fucking work, right? And then I'm guessing it's going well, right? How's it going?
Yeah, no, things are going really well. Every single month we're pretty much doing record sales and everything like that,
cool.
Getting our name out there. But I came into realization of the opportunity, and I'm running full speed with it right now.
Yeah.
Wearing every single hat I possibly could, trying to be the best team member to, all the people on our team here at Telson Tequila. So
what is your, now that we're pretty much caught back up to the tequila part. That was a great fucking story. That's good. Now that we're back present day tequila. What's your day-to-day, what's your job? What is your goal, and how do you achieve your goals? Like, what is your wake up in the morning? What's your task for the day?
Yeah, so obviously with any startup company, the number one thing that keeps everything alive is sales.
Okay.
So being Nevada market manager, my job is to, sell tequila. You know?
So is restaurants, is it individuals? Hey, brother, buy my bottle here. Like, what's your attack?
Yeah, it's a combination of all liquor stores, on-premise accounts, which is restaurant, bars.
Yeah.
And for us, like our whole strategy is we have to build it organically.
Yeah.
Because we're not a notable brand like Casamigos and all that, but we have a delicious juice.
Yeah.
So if I get people to taste the tequila, I'm pretty confident the majority of them are
I
gonna
was
like
gonna say
it.
the tasting part is huge because legitimately, man, on my podcast, people who don't like tequila or aren't big in tequila, or they think they like tequila, when they have this shit, they fucking love it. So like you're getting non-tequila fans to like it too, which is really hard because tequila, for some people, it's like I like
Unique
everything
taste,
else
yeah.
but tequila, right? But like if you like tequila, you love tequila. So you have a way you're doing at least with my audience, you're capturing both, and they both love it. So I guess how are you getting people? How are you getting in their face with it?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's definitely no shortcuts whatsoever. Like
Okay.
I'm constantly every single day I'm on the market here in Las Vegas, cold calling restaurants, walking
Okay.
in there, trying to get cars, trying to set up following meetings,
Okay.
trying to network and connect with people, almost
Sure.
skip some steps too.
Yeah.
Using the relationships that our owners created, and off their name and building such a established company
Yeah.
here in Las Vegas. That
Okay.
goes back to us always pushing we're the Las Vegas brand.
Okay.
We're not a celebrity brand because
I like that.
everyone here pretty much knows Zappos,
Okay.
especially, and then Nacho Daddy too as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of celebrity tequilas out there, and people want to get
Yeah.
behind the local, especially here
Yeah.
in Nevada, Las Vegas.
Look,
you realize,
I was gonna say there's a big and local here, the born and raised. They're so prideful here.
Yeah.
Of the born and raised or the local brand of sport. So like that's gotta be huge here for you guys, right? So
yeah, huge, and people are getting behind it too. It's going really well. Like
Yeah.
I said, there's no shortcuts whatsoever. I'm constantly going to restaurants.
So what's it like when you walk into a restaurant? Their tequila shelf is full. You say, "Hey, dude, I got this some good shit." How does that work? What's the next? What do they say?
They usually say, "Oh, it's like," they look back at their bar, kind of like somebody said, and they go, "Oh, you see how crowded it is up here? Like,
Yeah.
what tequila do you got here?" And I
Yeah.
usually give them a story.
Uh-huh.
But my main selling point that I use that separates me from other tequila brands is you're gonna get everything you can out of Telson Tequila if you give us an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's all I want is to prove myself. Some of the bigger brands are already established. They can't offer.
You're a little lazy, right?
Well, they can't offer
Yeah.
what I could offer.
Sure.
And what I offer is I will be in there weekly, bi-weekly. I'll know the host's name all the way to the general manager's name.
Yeah.
And I'll do what I can with tastings, win over their customers
Sure.
and win over their staff.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Okay.
And I realize I don't need to go after 1,000 accounts. If I go after a select few and organically grows those accounts, people that travel in those restaurants will venture out to those restaurants
Yeah.
they go to and be like, and start requesting the Telson.
The requesting is big. So how do you guys get to be able to ship? Because shipping was restricted for a while. Now you can go online and order it and it goes right to your house. How did
Yeah.
you guys get to that level?
Uh,
Was it a struggle? Was it easy?
Yeah, it was a struggle. I know there's definitely laws with distribution. Like I can't just ship a box of tequila to a restaurant in Colorado.
Okay.
There has to be a distributor and stuff like that.
Really?
But we set it up now. We're one of the few tequila brands that actually could ship it if you're not a restaurant to your house directly.
Nice.
Which
Okay.
we're able to do now.
Okay.
I don't know the whole logistics
What
behind
if somebody owned a restaurant, but they have a house? You ship it to their house, they put it in their car, and they drive it to the restaurant.
that.
Could you do that?
I guess
For
technically,
people listening, maybe you fucking do that if you can, you know?
yeah. I don't
What's
know.
this
that-
popping noise here?
We're stepping on something, maybe a wrapper.
Anyhow, little technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, but it's very regulated, the alcohol business. So you do need to have a distributor in each
Got
state
it.
to put it into a restaurant.
Okay.
Restaurant owners can do that, but
If you're
I don't know how
listening,
legal.
maybe you got a big trunk, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, fucking get back and pickup truck. Get this shit in your fucking restaurant, so I'm trying to say. Figure it out, you know?
Yeah,
Figure it out.
and requesting helps though. So anyone, like if you're in an area that or in a state that we do
Yeah.
distribute in, and you request it,
We for
know.
sure deliver to Colorado.
Yes.
'Cause I've done my own discount code and have it shipped and get the bottle, get there. I'm like, fuck yeah, this worked. You know, that was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. All right, so you get them in the restaurants. Like, okay, that's cool. And then what about like, I guess marketing? Is it like, what's I guess the overall like, boots in the ground is good. Is there another level to that? Like you said, you're in Miami and you're in Nashville and your other places. Like, what's it like? Are you going there too?
yeah. So as soon as we open up those markets, which would be at some time this year, we're definitely gonna have some boots on the ground there too as well,
Okay.
in charge of sales. In terms of marketing, we definitely are not going crazy on marketing right now. We're kind of organically growing it at the same time as we're marketing it, and once it hits a certain peak, I'll probably
Nice.
okay. Start flowing from there.
I think Carrie's tour bus could use a wrap.
Yeah.
You know, how about that? That'd be cool as fuck.
That would be
Big-
cool.
Big yellow wrap on that fucking bus. That'd be cool. That's awesome, man. So, okay, beyond tequila, man, what's next for you? Obviously building this brand to the best of your ability. Is this something you see yourself doing forever? Do you have other goals or other like ambitions of like beyond tequila? What's it like?
Yeah, definitely right now, my whole focus point is Telson Tequila.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, and breathe, kind of like
Yeah.
football.
Yep.
People ask me my work schedule. I'm like, work schedule? I
What
work
is that?
fucking-
I live.
You call
I'm
me
alive.
You
That's
call
my
me on a
life.
Sunday anytime, and if it's business, I'll answer the phone. 7
Yeah.
days a week, I'll work.
Yeah.
I don't care, and it's fun. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not selling something that's not fun. I'm
Right.
selling tequila, hanging out in restaurants, bars, meeting people.
How do you? Okay, I'm glad you asked that question because as I travel and I network and I go to these dinners and I go to these things, I find myself sometimes like getting carried away with either the drinking or the eating. How do you manage when you're selling tequila? How do you manage not being a fucking full blown alcoholic? You know what I mean?
Take a
Like,
sip of tequila.
how do you do it? What do you do?
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
Yeah. Because you have to taste it in front of these people sometimes, right? And if that's every day, like how do you not just fucking go off the rails?
Yeah, no, definitely. I work out every single day, 7 in the morning. I'm working
Good.
out seven days a week, maybe 6.
Yeah, but I think you're probably like me. You probably plan for 7, and if you miss a day, you're not fucked off, right? That's how I do. I'll sometimes go 2 or 3 weeks in a row. It's like, oh, I haven't had an off day. I guess I'll take one now. Or my schedule will disrupt it and organically, and so I'll miss a day, right? So I don't schedule days off. So I know what you mean by that.
Yeah, but no, it is definitely a fast-paced lifestyle. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're in restaurants, bars, and you just
In Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Exactly.
Vegas. Yeah.
Walking in through casinos.
Right.
You gotta, you learn the hard way probably right away.
Okay.
But yeah, you really just got to be disciplined because
I was waiting for that answer. Yeah, it's discipline.
It could be tough. So I really try to keep it on the weekends. Unless I'm having a taste where I'm just sampling.
Yeah, I think
I'm
a
not
taste
full
is
blown drinking every single day. Maybe
right.
2 days a week, 3 days a week.
Okay.
When I'm on the market, especially the weekends.
Okay.
So yeah.
You found something that works. Like, hey, all right, I know I have to be out there. I know I got to be at these dinners. I know I have to drink with you, but I'm not going to go off the fucking rails. I'll save that for when I'm partying with my boys. But like, that's good because if not, dude, you're in a town that's very conducive to bad behavior. You're in a business that's conducive to maybe bad behavior. So like, if you're not disciplined, you're fucked in this town, in this industry. So kudos to you for not. It's very visible that you're not an alcoholic, right? It's your work. Not yet. Not yet. But it's working, dude. So keep that shit up, dude. Because it's easy to not, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How we doing on time, Ace? 30. Perfect. So what else do you want to make sure we push or touch on as far as like Nacho Daddy or Telson? Like anything about Nacho Daddy you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, no, we kind of keep things separate a little
Got
bit.
it.
But yeah, Nacho Daddy is obviously expanding, and as much as they expand and continue to grow, it's just it helps Telson.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's how we found you.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do. That's why I say with marketing, I think they have 1 million customers a year walk through Nacho Daddy.
Really?
So it's just free marketing right there.
Yeah, it's again, Nacho Daddy is fucking. As much as I want to push to Telson, Nacho Daddy's a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah.
Because you can go there and get, like I said, whatever you would otherwise get at a restaurant. On a bed of nachos, the environment's cool. There's the scorpion
Scorpion shot.
Yeah, what
with
is that?
Telson.
Talk about that.
Yeah, it's a scorpion shot where you take a shot of Telson Tequila with a scorpion that's edible.
Yeah.
Dead, obviously. And
Yeah. There's like a fucking bell or something goes off too, right?
Yeah, they ring the bell.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole experience.
It's a thing,
Bring some
right.
excitement to the restaurant.
There's one on the strip that's very strippy, I call it. It's very strip vibes. There's one in Henderson that's like way more low key and way more calm. So like the local people, I'm sure, love those styles too. But if you're on the strip, it's right by.
It's on Planet Hollywood, yeah, right
Hollywood,
across from the
that's right.
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
Yep, right next to the Buffalo Wild Wings, right
Yeah,
there.
it's badass. All right, man. We're gonna wrap this up. I think this was awesome. I think the message is there. Fucking drink Telson. If you don't like tequila, give it a shot. If you like tequila, you're gonna love this. And I think it's super cool and makes your job easier, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's marketing something that's a really good product.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, if it sucked, I wouldn't have it on my podcast. I wouldn't be telling this guy. I'm not. Everyone who knows me, I'm genuine. You guys know that shit, but it's fucking cool. So
I appreciate that.
it's a lot of fun. It's probably my favorite episode, the most fun episode. Just talking about tequila. It's fucking cool, man. So
And you're the man. I love watching you grow too. I'm excited for this podcast.
you.
And as much as you guys grow, we'll be growing right there with you guys,
Yeah.
and we'll be
that's right.
we'll be
On the
here
top,
one day,
baby.
be at the top.
So that being said, you guys, there's a discount code for this tequila. There always has been, but we're gonna re-push that now. But give it a shot. They'll ship it right to your door. Give it a shot, and you're gonna fucking love it. And then DM me when you taste it. You'll like it. So. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you, Anthony, for having me.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
you
you.
big time.
This is awesome. Thank you.